Hello and welcome everybody to September. Oh my gosh, can't believe we're in the last quarter, really the last quarter of 2023. So you might hear some, or not some, you might hear a lot of birds. I'm currently on a little vacation in Kauai. So yeah, I'm just here in the North Shore, Princeville. Would show you my beautiful view, but then I would be dark. But yeah, it's nice, and it's been much needed. Maybe you guys have also, I've been talking about since June these deeper layers, being called to heal these deeper layers of our core. I'm going to say our core wounds. And when I recorded August, gosh, I think I had just been in the emergency room on July 30th. And yeah, so August was still a little bit tumultuous for me. So I may have mentioned, GI issues are one of my, even though the MS is gone, my GI issues are related to my deepest core of feeling safe in the world and not feeling safe with either of my parents from a very young age, probably in the womb. So that's where mine's been living in my body. And so I've been moving through healing that on a deeper layer in August. So as we move into September, what's happening? So September is really about a deeper external release. So for many of us, June, July, and August, and for some of you, again, we all have different timelines. You might still be feeling this somewhat in September, but many of us are moving into, now that we've done the deeper internal healing work, we are now moving into looking at our external. And it's time to purge and release in September the stuff that is no longer serving you, right? It might be a job. It might be a relationship. It might be a behavior or a pattern, an addiction. It might be, I know myself and many of my clients are releasing deeper layers of the external, like the superwoman, superhuman, the having to push yourself and work hard and overschedule and do too much. So that's what's happening right now, big time in September. It's for us to reflect on, now that we've done this deeper wound healing, reflect on and release, purge what is it's not serving you. And maybe you've known this for some time, but now you're finally ready because you've healed that deeper wound to release. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't mean there's still going to be some fear there. So part of your job, again, and if you haven't, listen to my recent podcast on the divine masculine, feminine being your divine parent. So I believe that's one of our biggest, I'm going to say challenges, but one of our deepest purposes in this lifetime is to be that divine parent to ourselves, the one we never had growing up. And so that means one of your roles as a divine parent is to soothe those fearful parts of you. So there's still going to be those parts of you. We don't get rid of them, right? We heal them on a deeper layer. We soothe them on a deeper layer, but we don't get rid of any of our parts. We don't get rid of our 3-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 12-year-old, 20-year-old. We don't. We just learn to soothe and heal and integrate them more. And part of that is, again, soothing their fears. That is part of being a divine parent. So that's going to continue to happen in a big way. Because when we get guidance that we're here to release something, that it's ready to release something, oftentimes we will then have a fear come up and then resistance to doing it. And everybody knows that when we have resistance, it can show up in your body. So I'm going to be doing a podcast. I might have mentioned it last month, but I'm definitely doing it this month on illness and trauma. And we have symptoms increase in our body that can be a message that you're not following your guidance. It can also be a message that you're releasing, right? So you can always ask if a symptom increases, is this because I'm releasing or because I'm resisting, right? Releasing or resisting, and sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's both. And we will, if we don't continue to listen to the guidance, the symptoms likely will increase in the body, but then we can also get nudges from our something bigger. Sometimes small, sometimes big, right? I'm just remembering a time when I knew I was meant to quit the hospital job I was at as an OT and start my own business. This was back in, well, I first got the guidance in 2008. And when we get guidance, sometimes there is some incubation time, right? Some time before it is actually happening in the world. But then I kind of knew it was time. But at that point, my husband had forbid me to quit my hospital job. So I had asked for a raise. I was like, well, if I'm going to stay, I'm going to ask for a raise because I brought them in so much money starting a meditation program. And they told me that. Now, when I asked for my raise, my boss said, I've thought about it and I'm not going to give you a raise. I think it's actually time that you go out and start your own business. I was like, what? So yeah, we will get nudges, sometimes big, sometimes small, if we are not following our guidance. So body symptoms and other nudges. So yeah, that's what September's about. It's about reflecting on what needs to be released now externally in your life. What needs, and it could be a location. I mean, there's lots of possibilities. Another way to say this, or to look at this, reflect on this, is what is causing you pressure? What is causing you pressure in your life? And time to let that go. Anything that causes pressure, it's time to let it go. So again, it could be a 3P pattern. It could be a relationship. It could be fill in the blank. Anything that's draining you or causing you pressure, take a look at that. And I know that there's this inner child for most of us, this younger part that says, but I'm stuck. I can't change it, because we couldn't as children. But here's the deal. As adults, powerful souls, as adults, now we can. So that's what's happening in September. Also, just another reminder to please be compassionate and gentle with yourself. As you are doing this, reflect and release, reflect on what's causing you pressure, physically, mentally, emotionally, and knowing that it's time to release it. So be compassionate, be gentle. Also, a reminder, please don't try to do it alone. I can't tell you how many people I have on my support team right now, like more than I probably had, or maybe the same amount than when I had MS. I've got my spiritual mentor, I've got my ketamine doctor, I've got my counselor who does ketamine with me, I've got the nurse, I've got cranial sacral person right now, lymphedema massage, manual lymphedema massage, my sweetie, of course. But yeah, I've got so many support systems right now. So please remember to give yourself that. Give yourself that support and the modalities that you're being called to right now. And if you'd like more support from me this month, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can find those below. In a nutshell, you can schedule a private session. I have a few left this month. You can join me for the Stress Less and Be in Flow Key program this month. You can also join me for the larger 12-month journey program that includes the Key program. You might be guided to sign up for a retreat. I still have a few spaces left at the end of September for Colorado. And I've got 2 spaces left for the Hawaii retreat in February. So you can send me an email, Tanya@tanyapenny.com, if you're interested in any of that, or find the links below. One other thing I just want to share is when it comes to support is I haven't been on a personal retreat. I've hosted retreats since 2014, every year, 2 to 3. I have not been on my own personal retreat, not hosting, since December 2018. I go on a lot of vacations, but an actual lead guided retreat. So I'm so excited. I'm going to be going to one of my bucket list places to swim with dolphins and whales in Moorea at the beginning of October. So I'm excited about that. You might be called to a retreat as well this year or early next year. And yeah, just, we have so many reasons why we shouldn't do something: the time, the money, the fill in the blank. And I had those, I call them sexy excuses too. And I was like, okay, no, it's time for me. It's time for me. So that's what you have for September. Also stay tuned. I will be having a new live event where I'm interviewing so many awesome healers and coaches. And it's called Transcend Trauma. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming at the end of September. I don't have the opt-in link page for that quite yet. Make sure you get on my email list in order to receive the invite for that, if you're not already. All right, sending you guys lots of love, encourage, and it doesn't, how can I say this? It's simple, but it's not always easy, right? Because of those fears, like of letting go. We're so afraid if we let go, then there's not going to be something there to replace it. When the truth is always, whether it's a job, a relationship, a location, when you release the old, you open up to the or better new. So much better. That has always been the case in my life. And yeah, I just want to give you that gentle reminder as well. I know that there's parts of you that are afraid, but let them know. Maybe you'll be alone, maybe you'll be without for a little bit, but it might just be a little bit, right? As you're upgrading to the or better and opening to that. So yeah, love you guys, and feel free to share this video if you think that someone in your life would benefit from it. And yeah, I just honor you so much and just commend you on the deep work that you're doing. Bye.